Hello everyone, and right now we are into the last session of this 12 weeks course on dietary supplements and ergogenic aids in sport. I am Aradhana Sharma, your lead faculty. This is week 12 and the last session where I am going to talk about the key takeaways and the closing notes of our program. We will start with the International Olympic Committee consensus, the core principles that they have published in their 2018 statement on dietary supplements in elite sports. So, they state that no supplement can replace a well planned diet, used only when effective, safe, permitted and necessary. So, throughout this course you must have now learnt about what are the important protocols you need to remember, what are the strategies, how to keep yourself and your athlete safe. So, the decision you base about the general use consumption of the supplements is risk versus benefit. Your decision should be based on the risk versus benefit analysis and also athletes context. You need to know why the athlete and for which athlete you are going to prescribe the supplement, what are their requirements, are they getting adequate amount of those nutrients through their food. If they are not, then first we are going to fix the diet and then we look towards the supplement. And always we want to try it in not in the training and not before the actual competition. So, never first time in the competition. We never allow our athletes to go and you try this supplement in your competition this time and you are going to get certain benefits. Another thing that in the same consensus statement they have written is the third party tested products only to avoid the risk of doping. So, this is the core principles we all follow in our practices and we would like you and your athletes also to understand and follow the same principles. Here are some considerations while selecting a supplement on the closing note, and this will be a takeaway for you. So, this is the most research in the domain is on the single active ingredients. So, you do not need to look into a lot of multi ingredient product which is not only about the workouts and all, but a lot of protein products also, protein supplements also come, the pre workout mixes, the amino acid blends, they come with multi ingredients. So, generally we prescribe initially to start with the single ingredient component. Most commercial supplements are multi-ingredient supplements, you need to remember that. Another thing is that most dietary supplements available out there are in form of the commercial supplements. That means it is a profitable business for the supplement producers. So, you need to keep yourself safe and always see the label which is there or not about the third party testing of the supplement. Pure form of supplements are not popular. So, I will tell you about a few single ingredient supplement. When we asked our athletes to try that in the purest form, they are rarely available, but we could get some of those, but the athletes did not like it. They either wanted certain amount of sugar added to it, certain flavors added to it. So, that is why generally the supplement market, because they have to sell the supplements, they do add flavors and coloring agents. So, generally they are not available in the purest form, but you still want to look for the least ingredients added to your supplement. Then you need to purchase the supplement from reputed and authorized dealers. Do not trust the online claims on the supplement. Authentication and seal tamper proof. Once you buy the supplement, you see first you see all the labels and the certificate and also see that it is not tampered with. So, it should be properly sealed, whether it is a liquid, powder or the tablet supplement, there should always be a seal intact. If seal is broken or distorted in any form, you do not buy and use that supplement. Beware of big alerts and claims. A lot of supplements claim, they actually produce the tall claims like this is going to work wonders, miraculous, and overnight you will get weight reductions or muscle mass increase and all that, and energy burst and full of energy and all. So, these are the big alerts and the claims. You do need to read the ingredients properly. Yes, you can get all those effects which they are listing there, but there may be hidden risks. There may be the ingredients which are not allowed in the competition. There may be steroids added to the supplements and also you do need to check the label again there. Beware of proprietary blends. Again, as we discussed, there are multi-ingredient supplements also. So, you need to see wherever they say proprietary blends, they either need to write clearly what that blend consists, or they need to write the warnings that come along with it, or the alerts that come along with it, for the person to understand whether they want to take this supplement really or not. Then we come to label reading, which I am going to talk about in next few slides, to make you understand how the labels can be misleading, how you yourself and your athletes can smartly read the label and avoid the risks which comes associated with any kind of supplement. This is label number 1. This is a multivitamin supplement which actually advertises itself as the immunity multivitamin. Now, during all these 12 weeks, you must have known that there are certain dietary ingredients which are antioxidants, which actually improve your immunity. Vitamin C, vitamin E, and all of those added together. So, you do get through your diet. You can get that through your diet. Anyways, coming back to this label reading, if you see the vitamin blends on the list on the under the calories and all where it is written. So, when you see the vitamin blend, I would like you to go to folic acid, vitamin B12, and actually for that matter all of the vitamins they have listed as 100%. Then we come to the mineral blends, where except iron all other minerals they have added are 100%. Then we go to the other ingredients which are listed. So, skin and hair care blend, again the vitamin C, vitamin E and biotin, again they are 100%. So, the idea here to make you understand, if this supplement is already giving you 100% of all the vitamins and minerals, I mean many of the vitamins and minerals, and you are consuming it in your diet also, then there are chances that you are overdoing it. You are getting excess dose of a lot of these vitamins and minerals. Now, we come to the blend, the last part of the list here, which says super antioxidant and herbs blend. Now, this includes lutein, lycopene, which are of course safe, no problem with that, but then it has garcinia, it has ashwagandha, it has giloy, it has turmeric extract. Some of them are safe, some of them are not. So, again, as you must have understood by now how herbal supplement can be little risky every now and then, there are a lot of herbs added, which is this supplement particular, the one product here is the multivitamin supplement. In this multivitamin supplement, they have added all sort of herbal supplement as well. So, this is one gimmick which is there and you need to be aware of. We move on to this one particular is a pre-workout mix. Now, you see as the serving size, we start with 8.5 grams and the carbohydrate is of course they have listed as minimal. Now, we come to the listing of other ingredients, where we start with niacinamide, which is 220% of daily requirement. We come to vitamin B12 and it is huge, it is 1040% of your daily requirement, which itself is alerting to me. So, that is why it is important to. So, you are taking this supplement every single day, and remember that vitamin B12 is stored in your body. So, if you are taking 1000% more than your requirement every single day, it is going to be stored and it is a mega dose, and athletes do take pre-workout every day. So, this is something you need to be worried about. We move down to the energy, which is R, they have again registered their blend, mind to muscle matrix. So, this is something again very creative term they have put there, and it has again we have talked about a lot of pre-workout single ingredients, and when I talked about those I told you that these are part of the multi mixes. So, now you see betaine is there, choline is there, tyrosine is there, and with that a lot more things, that certain extract, that it has mucuna, then it has Vitasure, it has caffeine, it has what not, it has even the black pepper. Creatine there is 2000 milligram. Now, if you remember when we talked about creatine, there are dosing protocol for creatine, and we want the athlete to start with creatine maintenance, and then of course the loading protocol also we follow. Now, just think if you are giving a loading protocol to an athlete, along with that, without reading the label, your athlete starts taking this particular supplement, which is again providing him or her 2000 milligram of creatine every single day. So this is where the risk comes in. You are running a risk of overdosing these ingredients, and if the athlete is taking it every day, it may have certain side effects definitely. Another label here which we found really interesting, and you all should read this. So this looks like a protein supplement where the main ingredients listed there are skimmed milk protein, whey protein concentrate, and all other things. Now then they have listed Goxura, which actually is Tribulus terrestrialis, which is banned in sports, which actually is a testosterone booster, and you must have learnt about it in when we did a session on the herbal supplement. So Goxura is added there, and another herb which is Atmagupta, which is also added there. So now you need to know this supplement right away by reading the label itself or the ingredients itself. We cannot prescribe to our athletes, but our athletes are not that well aware or that well educated to understand the importance of reading the label, or even to understand the chemical names or English names of a lot of herbs. So that's why it is important for us to educate the athletes and the other stakeholders to read the label first, to keep themselves and ourselves also safe. The golden rules of supplement use. So here I have listed some important rules. So first is, you start with the need analysis. Does the athlete really need supplement? You need to check his or her blood work and their diet composition and what training phase they are in. If their diet is adequate, why would you prescribe any supplement? If their blood work shows certain deficiencies, see if the hemoglobin is low, B12 is low, vitamin D is low, which actually directly affect the performance negatively if the low levels are there. In that case, if you know that the blood work has proven this, then you can definitely prescribe the supplement. So you need to know what is the need to prescribe the supplement for athlete. Then we need to understand the correct form, correct dose and timing and duration for that particular supplement. Even if somebody is showing some lower level of certain ingredients or nutrients, you cannot be keep putting them on that nutrient throughout their life. You cannot be putting them on that nutrient for say 1 year straight. You need to put that certain protocol needs to be followed, say for vitamin D and B12 also. You prescribe for certain weeks, get the blood test done again, and if the levels come to normal, then you stop using those supplements. Then comes you need to log everything, what brand you are taking, the batch number, their expiry date and the reason you are taking. So this is, if you prescribe it to athletes or your athletes are taking, you do encourage them to make sure that they are logging everything. In case any adverse findings come in later on, they can actually produce the batch number and brand from which they were using it, and also the expiry date. So we generally tell the athlete to keep the container safe, leave certain amount of supplement in the container that can be tested later if required. If not container, then at least keep the label safe with you. Then you need to remember that everything popular is not always the best options. There are certain marketing gimmicks, there are people who pay big amount to celebrities and all. Now our athletes do need to get tested for the dope, but many of the celebrities don't. So that's why you need to know that if the supplement is very popular, it does not mean it is safe and the best option. Do not go supplement hopping. This is something that athletes think, okay, now I have tried this supplement, it is doing good, it's time to add one more supplement, or now this supplement I have tried for 2-3 weeks, let me try another supplement, let me try another one which another teammate is using. So this is what is called supplement hopping. You do not know which supplement. See, for any supplement to show its efficacy, you need to your body needs to adapt to it for certain days or certain weeks. So you need to be patient, try how one supplement is working. So generally we need to review every 8 to 12 weeks, and if the supplement is not working, then only we will move on to the other supplement after the 8 to 12 weeks. Then supplement support the diet. Most important rule here is, it is going to support the diet and your training, it is not going to replace it. An athlete who is not ready to train properly is not going to get benefited with supplement. Training and diet first. If your diet is lacking certain nutrients and you are not ready to take it through the diet, you cannot just move to the supplement. So first thing is fix your diet. Evidence based approach towards supplementation. First, again, the balanced diet I just talked about. Then you move on to sports nutrition and see what added requirement may be there for that certain individual. Then we move on to sports specific nutrition and personalize the diet and the supplement plan if supplement required. And then the supplements that we ask them to take should be properly research backed. We need to have scientific data on that particular supplement, that it is effective and it is not going to harm the athlete. Here are certain pros and cons when it comes to use the supplement. The most important thing, most of the athletes want supplement because it's very convenient. You tell them to count their protein throughout the day, count the carbs and vitamins and all, it's very difficult for them. So, they generally want it for the convenience that in one scoop I am getting 15, 20, 30 grams of protein, I am happy that I got that protein. So, but the cons here is those supplements are not regulated in the market. So, there is no governing body which actually says that this supplement is safe unless they have the third party lab certification. So, of course, the supplements save your time to cook food and all that. So, again the convenience part comes in. It's portable, of course, that is one good reason why supplement is consumed by athletes, that they can carry it when they are traveling and there is no harm in it. If they are taking safe supplement, it comes handy when they are traveling. Now, the cons are there are a lot of side effects that can come with the supplement depending on what brand, what level of purity that supplement has and what else is added to the main ingredient. There are individual variations. We need to understand that supplements are not medicines. If you remember, again during the initial sessions I talked about why supplements and the prescription medicines are different. So, again supplement industry is not very well monitored. We need to take the decision based on the risk and benefit analysis ourselves, just to keep ourselves and our athletes safe. Every athlete should know before starting the supplement that balanced diet is the key. You need to consult a qualified nutritionist and the experts who can guide you scientifically for certain supplements. You need to know RDA, which is recommended dietary allowances, which is different for every country's individuals, every country's citizens. So, many a times there are certain imported supplements which list the ingredients by RDA, that RDA is actually valid for that country. So, this is another thing you need to teach the athlete about. No one size fits all nutrition plan. So, no supplement and nutrition actually fits any one plan will not fit all the athletes. So, individualization is very, very important. Planning and monitoring nutritional assessment at regular intervals. It's not like you give your athlete certain diet plan and certain supplements and they are just good to go on their own. You do need to follow up and need to check whether everything is going fine, whether the supplement and the diet helpful for them or not. Remember, supplements are not the magic pill, and as I said in the earlier slide, if the claims are like is going to do miracles, wonders or magic, please stay away from those supplements. There may be some funny ingredients added to it. More the athletes need to know about is develop sports specific eating habits. So, food first approach, you need to do justice to your natural diet and then only you move towards the supplements if you are not getting the enough nutrients through the natural diet. Do not follow the peers blindly. Athletes generally do, their sources of information is many a times the other athletes. When they go into competition, they say, oh, that other athlete was consuming this, so this supplement may be good for me, so I should also start. So, never do that, because what is working for you don't know their diet. You don't know what ingredients, what nutrients they are getting in their diet. So, you cannot follow just the supplement part of it. Then you may need to maintain a supplement diary and history, what supplement worked for you, which supplement did not work for you, which supplement actually helped you to sleep better or perform better or recover better, and which one did not. You need to educate yourself from reliable sources. So, again we do tell athletes all the time that they need to talk to a qualified professional in order to get the proper information. Then they need to track the effect, side effect and response to any supplement. The big picture here is your diet, sleep and your recovery is actually, and the training is actually going to account for 90 to 95% of your performance. Supplements can only add 5 to 10% of performance. So, do not just play around with the supplement. You need to check whether you are taking your diet properly, whether you are sleeping well, how is your training and your recovery, because a lot and the major part depends on that. Smart supplementation is only there for competitive edge. It's not like you cannot just ignore your training time, your recovery and your sleep and think that supplements are going to cover up for them. Supplements are the cherry on the top. Supplements are not the whole dish there. Then the blind supplementation always includes the risk, and many times it can be just the waste of your money. The target here is to right advice from right expert to right athlete, then right supplement, right time and right dose. This is the proper way to understand and start using the supplement. Here are the closing notes for you. You are now prepared to evaluate evidence and not marketing. You need to decide the supplement use based on what is the scientific evidence behind it, whether proper researches have been done or not, and the researches have to be done on humans, not on the animals. There are a lot of supplements, they just write in their advertisement a lot of research done, and when you go in to read, there are only limited research on human and a lot of those were done on animals. So you need to know the proper evidence. How do you check? And don't go by the marketing gimmicks, because in the initial sessions I did tell you how big is the supplement market, and you can actually buy different products at different time and different rates, because after all these are all the commercial product and people are benefiting with the marketing. Build athlete specific supplement plan. One size does not fit all, so you need to know the requirement, whether it really exists for the certain athlete, and then depending on their sports, their training phase, their age, height, weight, a lot of their diet and their what phase of training they are in, based on that the supplement plan should be started. Protect your athletes from contamination and doping violation. It is our job to let our athletes know what is right, what is not, because many times they really may not be aware. So this is something, it's our duty to inform them about how the supplements can be contaminated and there may be doping violations. So putting supplement in your body is after all the athlete's responsibility. When anything, any adverse findings are there, it is athlete's responsibility. So it's our job to keep them safe. Then we need to bridge science, performance and ethics. So we just need to understand the science, how it helps the performance and do it ethically to guide our athletes to win ethical, to win clean, which is the mottos, to play true, which is the motto for World Anti-Doping Agency, and they want to promote the ethical use of supplement and always the diet first approach. So with this, I along with all my co-faculties want to thank you for being part of this 12 weeks journey with us. We hope that you got to learn a lot, and this information that you gain from this course is going to help you in your careers furthermore. Thanks a lot for staying with us for all 12 weeks. Bye for now.